I have been canning nonstop for weeks. I am so tired. But now I'm gonna make pickles, and I got the recipe from the master canner, Grandma Dodie. I got spaghetti sauce done, tomato sauce, tomato soup, my sun-dried tomatoes, green beans. I still have a little bit of green beans left, but I'm gonna be making pickles. I have so many beautiful, that's a lemon, cucumber. My mother-in-law is the master canner. She has given me so many recipes, so many tips, and I have all these beautiful cucumbers. So I'm gonna be doing my own pickles. Well, my boys went to visit Grandma Dodie, and they came back, they're like, oh my goodness, Mom, Grandma Dodie made the best pickles ever, and they were so crispy. And I'm thinking, I've tried once before, and they were mush. And I'm like, what in the world? She gave me her tips. The first tip I'm gonna give you guys, you soak your cucumbers in ice water for 6 to 8 hours. That keeps them crispy. That's tip number one. So I got all of them all prepped. I have them washed, and so I'm just gonna start cutting these cucumbers. And I know that they take, like, there's a specific cucumber that is like better for canning, but I have so much. I have so much, and so I'm gonna try these. I'll let you guys know how it goes, but I figured, you know what? Grandma Dodie's amazing. That woman can. I mean, she's always coming up with stuff. I have her pickled beet recipe. Look how cute that is. Wow, those are really, they taste like a candy cucumber. Wow. That's amazing. She also told me to not cut the end. You only cut one end, the top with the stem. She said don't cut the end. So I'm going to do a couple of these long ways. My Robert, these are so good. Oh my goodness. My Robert loves pickles so much. And so I'm having to buy pickles. Buy is what I meant to say. Buy and buy. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to can my own pickles. I've tried it once before. Everybody loved Grandma Dodie's pickles, so I'm going to do my own. So I'm going to get these cut. I'm going to put them in my roaster pan. I've used this roaster pan a trillion times this week. Well, not a trillion, but you know what I'm saying. Because of my spaghetti sauce. I put my spaghetti sauce in my roaster pan, cook it in the oven for 24 hours. So good. These are so unique. I don't even know what they're called. They're amazing. They taste like a cucumber, but they have like a sweetness to them. It's really cool. All right, I'm gonna keep doing this. And then let me show you before I go. These are called lemon cucumbers. So when you pick these, you can just eat them like an apple. Like that's how they're made. And I started cutting one up yesterday, and I'm like, you know what? This would be good for pickles. So I'll show you what they look like inside. When Brendan was little, he would just go out to the garden and then just start picking these and just sitting there in the garden eating them. So whenever I do my garden, I like to plant lots of these because he loves them. And I have a ton. I still have more growing. I mean, and it's really weird because the canning season or the gardening season was very weird just because the weather was so off. And I had planted, and look at how cute is that little tiny cucumber I got. Okay, so she said take the top off, but don't take the bottom. And so I thought, man, I'm not going to get cucumbers. Nothing was growing. Nothing was flowering. I'm like, I don't know. And so when you plant cucumbers, they're like an early, they grow faster. So you get cucumbers right away. Like some tomatoes you get right away. There's some things we just can't plant up here just because we don't have a long enough season. But I mean, cucumbers though, we always get cucumbers. So I thought, well, great. My garden is another fail this year. And then all of a sudden I go out to my garden like, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, I have cucumbers everywhere. So I'm super excited about it. And I didn't think I was going to get corn. My husband, I came in from church because Noah is doing a solo at church, and so I had to stay and wait for him. And so I walk in the door, and I'm like, he goes, hey, look what we got. I'm like, what? He's like, we got corn. I was like, what? Because the corn stalks are so small. I thought I wasn't going to get corn. And it is absolutely amazing. Like, the corn is so good. So I was like, cool, that's sweet. So yeah, we have corn, and I'm going to be canning. I have 3 bags of green beans left. I've already canned 4 bags of green beans. So I'm going to be making, I've said like 14 times. I am going to do a mixed vegetable whenever I do soups, or like my shepherd's pie, or chicken pot pie, or mind block, tater tot casserole. I love putting mixed vegetables in, and I'm not going to get any peas. I'm going to have to buy the peas, but I have the corn, I have the carrots, I have the potatoes, I have the green beans, and I'm just going to stick them all in a can and just dump them in. I'll drain them, unless I'm doing like a vegetable soup, then I won't drain them, but I'll drain them. So yeah, this is amazing. All right, so I'm gonna get these cut, and then I'm gonna put them in ice water for 6 to 8 hours. And so this recipe is so easy. Like, I called my mother-in-law, and I'm like, okay, my boys will not stop talking about your pickles. What did you do? She was like, it was so easy, she says. She says it about everything, but then I try it, and I'm like, I don't get it. My husband loves pickle beets, and my mother-in-law has the best pickle beet recipe. And she gave it to me. I keep saying Well, she gave it to me. I made them for my husband. He's like, what's this? I go, what do you mean? These don't taste like my mom's. I said, I literally followed your mom's recipe. He's like, well, these don't taste like my mom's. It's like, darn it. Because she really is amazing when it comes to canning. She just has that touch. She has that touch. Even though I have 3 canners and 2 water baths, she's still the best. The best. Okay, I'm going to finish this and come back, and we'll get the water added and then get them soaking. Then I'll come back again, and we'll add the I added the ice to both of these, and then I did the water. So you're going to cover them in ice water for 6 to 8 hours. I'm going to have to get Izzy's ice maker. Well, it's my husband's ice maker, but Isabella kind of took it over. So I'm going to have to get that ice maker out, because I want to make sure that I keep it cold. So we're just going to cover these cucumbers. I do have some more, but I'm going to have to get another pot to put them on. And you don't have to pressure can these. According to my mother-in-law, you don't even have to put them in a water bath. If you get your liquid, the water and vinegar super hot, and put it into the jars, they will seal themselves. And because they have the vinegar in them, you don't have to put them in a pressure canner. Plus, she said, I said, are you sure I don't water bath them for like 10 minutes? She goes, no, then they're going to be all mushy. Trust me. I said, okay, I trust you. I mean, she's been doing this way longer than me. She's like, I have pickles for months, and they're staying perfect. I'm like, okay. So she knows what she's talking about. I'm just going to listen to what she has to say. Okay, so I got these covered. We're going to let them set. Well, I keep saying I'm going to let them set for, ooh, that one's really cold, for 6 to 8 hours. That means I'm probably going to be doing pickles at 10 o'clock at night. But that's okay. I'm going to follow the instructions. I'll get everything ready to go, prepped. So then you're going to take them out of the ice water. You're going to put them into your jars. Heat up the water and vinegar. Put your garlic, salt, and dill in each of the jars. I can't decide if I'm going to do just smaller jars or if I'm going to do big ones too. I haven't decided yet what size, because we do go through them fast. And I really love that these are so big. So they're going to be just perfect on burgers. Look at that sucker. Ooh, that's a pickle right there. Okay, so 6 to 8 hours in an ice bath, making sure to add ice as it melts. Make sure the water's cold. If you have to add more cold water, more ice, just keep doing it, because you want these to stay cold, and to make sure they're submerged and they're all covered. I have enough water in here, but they're kind of floating up, so maybe just check on them if you decide to do this. Also, just check on them. And you know what? If you just have like 7 cucumbers, you can do this and then put them directly into your fridge when you're done. Like do the whole process and then put them in your fridge, and you guys can have pickles. You can, maybe throughout the winter, you decide to make pickles, go to the store and get you 4 or 5 cucumbers, cost you, $4, hopefully, and then make a couple jars of pickles. I mean, pickles are $6. $6. I looked on the back of the pickles thinking pickles would just be like dill, vinegar, pickle. There's a pile of stuff in them. The simplest things, hey, the simplest things you would think is just like heavy whipping cream. Just cream, right? Nope, there's a ton of stuff in it. It's just very odd to me. So I'm really trying to embrace being more self-efficient, but I'm super excited about these. The kids are gonna be so excited that I'm doing Grandma Dodie special pickles. Okay, so I'll see you in 6 to 8 hours. It's 11:15. I'm gonna get these pickles done. So for the liquid, it is 4 cups of water to 5 cups of vinegar. So I'm gonna double the recipe. So I have 8 cups of water, and then you're gonna get it really, really hot. And then I'm gonna go grab the dill, grab the garlic, and then the garlic salt. So I need 10 cups of white vinegar. All right. Maybe started my pickles a little too late, but I can't leave them overnight because I don't want them to get mushy. All right. So there's 8. And I need 2 more cups here. And then I'm gonna turn the burner on and get this all hot. So once it's boiling, I'm gonna get the cucumbers into my jars with the dill and the garlic, and then the garlic salt. And then I'm gonna put the hot water in the jars, seal them, flip them so they'll seal. And because of the vinegar, you don't have to pressure can them or do a water bath. All right, now it's time to fill jars. So I'm only gonna do 2 at a time because your cucumbers are cold. And with my last batch I did, the jars got cold and it also made the liquid cold. So I'm only gonna do 2 at a time because I wanna be able to flip them right away. And so you're gonna wanna kind of fill them fast just because your cucumbers are cold. So it's gonna warm up or cool off the jars. So I actually, I'm putting my jars in hot water in the sink over there, keeping them warm until I need them. I'm only gonna do 2 at a time. I got some others tipped up over there. I got some over there. So yeah, I wouldn't do too many at once. It might be a little time consuming, but your cucumbers were in ice water. So it's gonna cool down the jar. It's gonna cool down the liquid like really fast. So we'll see how these 2 go. I might have to take my liquid out and reheat it now that the jars are warmed up. So just, a little tip for you is maybe just do a couple at a time and get these jars filled. You want that liquid in there. And you want to make sure that it is bubbling too. You want it really hot. All right, I think this looks good. So you want to do your jars hot. You want to hurry up with those cucumbers. Get them in the jar so we can get these sealed. Make sure you cover the cucumbers and then get a couple of the air bubbles out. Whoa. So I think I did too many at once was my problem. Make sure the tops are good and there's no chips. Put those seals on right away and flip. Ooh, that's hot. Okay, so that's the trick. Just do a couple at a time. Get them flipped right away. They're gonna be hot. Make sure your jars are hot. Make sure your water's boiling. Hurry up with those cucumbers because you want those bottoms to seal and you don't have to put them in a hot water bath because of the vinegar. But you gotta make sure your jars are hot. Gotta make sure your water's boiling. Garlic in each of these. Oh, I forgot the garlic salt in the last 2. Darn it. That's boiling over. Let's get your dill in here. I like dill, so I'm gonna get lots. And I got lots of dill. I asked my daughter to get me a couple, things of dill. You should see the dill she got me. I'm like, what am I gonna do with all this dill? But I was very, very thankful she did it, so I wasn't gonna complain. All right. They look really nice though. I'm super excited. And so I believe it takes a couple weeks before you can open them so they can, kind of, I'm assuming they ferment a little bit, break down things, and it kind of cooks the cucumbers and preserves it, I guess. Makes it become pickles. I don't know how the whole process. I'll have to look that up and share that with you guys in the description. Okay. And it is now midnight. My husband's, like I told you earlier, he's like, I can't believe are you doing it this late? I said, I got to. I can't let him sit overnight because I don't want him to get mushy. All right, so pour your hot liquid in here. Ooh, my whole house is like vinegar. Make sure you cover the cucumbers. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to take a little longer, but it's totally worth it. Oh, get the air bubbles out here. There you go. Be careful, it's going to be hot, 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 so make sure that you don't burn your hands. Whew. Okay, nice. All right, I finished the pickles. It is 2:30 in the morning. I'm a little tired. But while I was waiting for the pickles to be able to do each batch, I decorated for fall too, because I have plans for tomorrow. I want to bake and finish these dehydrated tomatoes. So I got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 37. So I got 37 jars of pickles. I had one bowl left that I can munch on. But they're absolutely beautiful. So a couple of them I put into the water bath for 10 minutes because they weren't sealing. Some of them sealed and some of them didn't. And I think it's because your jars have to be hot. Your vinegar water has to be scalding hot. And so what I did was I actually threw the garlic and the salt and the dill in, and I put a little bit of the hot water in the bottom just to keep the jar warm. And then I put some cucumbers in, filled a little bit more with water, and then cucumbers, and then filled it with the hot and flipped it. And so those that I did that, they sealed fine. But some of them from the beginning, I just did too big of a batch, so they cooled too fast. You can also maybe drain your water with your cucumbers and then just kind of let them not be so cold. That might help. But if you just want to not deal with all that, I would just say pack them, hot jars, pack them in the hot liquid, put the seals on, and then do a water bath for 10 minutes just to make sure they're sealed. They are vinegar, so they're not going to go bad, but you still want to seal them. So if you just want to not have to go fast or whatever, you could also do a 10-minute water bath. The ones that I did do in the water bath, once it kind of started getting little bubbles on the top, that's when I started my timer, because there's vinegar in them. So it's not like they have to be in a water bath for a while, and I don't want them to be mushy. So some of them worked, some of them didn't. But when I do this again, I'm going to make sure that hot water, hot liquid, put your jars in the hot water, make sure you put a little liquid in the canner. So it's quite the science if you don't want to put it in a water bath. I don't know how my mother-in-law does it. So I'm anxious to see when we can eat these, what the difference is, if some are going to be a little softer and some really crispy. I did read a couple recipes. It just popped. I did read a couple recipes where you can put a pickle crisper. You put it into the jars and it helps keep the pickles crispy so they don't go soggy. But I am anxious to try them. I have done bread and butter pickles. I make zucchini relish. And I did try dill pickles years ago, probably 20 years ago. And I just cooked them so much that they were mush and nobody would eat them. So when everybody was like, Grandma Dodie's are amazing, I thought, okay. And she does do 2 quarts at a time. Her recipe that she gave me was for just 2 quarts. And then, of course, I had to octubal it. That's 8. Let's see, hexatubal it. I don't know what it is. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me on making these pickles. Now it's time to try these pickles. It's been about 3 weeks. Let's see how they taste. Okay, still sealed. All right, here we go. They're pretty good. Can you hear the crunch? All right. They're really good. So, my mother-in-law was right. They do stay crispy, super good, and they're crunchy. I think I'm gonna try another one. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm making Grandma Dodie's pickles. You hear that? They're gonna be great on hamburgers.